This is the plaintiff, Juan Velasquez. He says he rented a room to the defendant and didn't take long for him to realize the guy was a deadbeat. He told him to move out. The guy refuses, and even though he's still there, they don't speak one word to each other. What a mess. He's suing for $2,625, the amount owed for back rent. This is the defendant, Sean Harrigan. He says the plaintiff was charging him $700 for an apartment where the total rent was only $800, thus ripping him off. The guy wants to evict him, but he's going to stay for as long as it takes for him to live out all of his overpayments. And there's not a thing he can do about it. Ha! He's accused of squatting. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for overpayment of rent.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Juan Velasquez.
Yes, correct.
You are suing Sean Harrigan for $2,625 in rent that you say he has refused to pay you of $175 a week back since December 13. You are counterclaiming against him, Mr. Harrigan, $5,000 in triple damages of overcharged rent because you feel that he was illegally overcharging you. Okay, let's hear it.
Back in 2010, by July, I lost my job and I needed a little help to, to pay my rent and my utilities. So I went to an agency and they sent Mr. Harrigan to rent a room.
Okay, what kind of agency did you go to?
It's an agency, room agency.
For roommates? They find roommates?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So Mr. Harrigan came in. He sounded like a nice man. And I liked
Okay,
it.
so he takes the room. He moves in. Everything is fine for a while, but what goes wrong?
In July 19, he moved to my room. After that, by December 15, he says, I put a check in the bank and it bounced. So I'm waiting for the check. I said, okay. So I'm gonna give you $200 and then I come back and give you the rest. I said, okay.
Okay, why $200? How much were you charging him in rent?
$175 a week.
So it was a weekly rent?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the week that he said to you, I don't have, $200 is more than $175, so what is it you're saying? Was he already behind?
He was behind, November, he was behind.
How many weeks was he behind?
He was behind by about 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay,
behind.
so he gives you $200, and then what happens?
He said, I'm gonna give you $500. When I get the money, I'm gonna give you $500, that's $700 that I pay, for the whole month. I said, okay. So after that, they came, I think it was December 20. He said, oh, the check, they received no money because the check.
Did you ever see any more money from him?
No.
Is he still living there?
He's still living there.
He's still living there?
Yeah.
That's got to be awkward. Okay. Do you talk to each other?
I don't talk to him for like 2 months.
What's going on?
I'm suing for $4,500 for him overcharging me over a course of 20 weeks. $75 overcharge in a rent-stabilized apartment.
Is this a rent-stabilized apartment?
Yes.
How much is your rent?
$820.
How much are you charging him?
$175 a week.
Okay, so go on.
And I'm also, which with triple damage, he's overcharged me over a 20-week period, $75 a week, which is $1,500. And I believe I'm entitled under the law to triple damages.
Where do you get that from, the treble damages?
I Googled it. I did research.
Okay.
I did research on the web.
Okay.
Apparently, if a land...
No, I know what you say. I'm saying show me because I don't see it in the law when I looked up the law. So I want to know where you're getting this from.
Apparently,
okay.
if...
Apparently, I got it. So go on.
I moved in on Monday, July the 19th, and I gave him $350 for 2 weeks. And then I paid him every 2 weeks up until November the 22nd.
Okay.
Everything was fine in the apartment. We had no problems. Apart from 2 small things at the beginning, which actually turned out to be large things in the end. Number one, when I moved in, he refused to give me the key to the mailbox. I asked him why. He couldn't give me a good reason, but he was quite adamant about it. So I just moved in. I didn't want any problems. I don't like confrontations. So I said, okay, as long as you give me my mail, then that's fine. The other thing was, at the beginning of December, I'm in the laundry room in the basement of the building, and I overhear a conversation between two tenants, two women who had been in the building over 20 years, each of them. I'd known them through meeting in the building, doing laundry, etc. And they were talking about their rent-stabilized apartments. So I asked them, you know, are there a lot of rent-stabilized apartments in the building? They said, yes, about a third of the apartments are rent-stabilized. The second I said, do you know if Mr. Velasquez's apartment is rent-stabilized? They said, yes. So I'm thinking to myself, well, Mr. Velasquez has been in the building about 20 years, I believe, and it's one of the smaller apartments, so there's no way that he could be paying more than $1,000.
Why are you, I have this question for you. Why
Sure.
are you asking so many questions? Because you know the law?
I knew already that people in rent-stabilized apartments could not rent out rooms for more than the total.
Okay,
to make
because normally speaking, I may pay $1,000 in rent, and then I find you, and I give you one room, and I charge you $800 in rent, and that's just too bad for you. You didn't get as good a deal as I do. But there's an exception when it's a rent-stabilized unit. You can't rent out a rent-stabilized unit for profit. You can't make more than the landlord. If the landlord can't make more money, you can't make more money. The law says that you can rent it out. If there's two of you living there, then you can rent it out for half of your rent. So you can't profit by renting it out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if your rent is $820, you can't rent it out for $7 like you were doing. You have to rent it out for $410. That's what the law is. I guess you did not know that.
I didn't know, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, you do know that. So you do what? You go upstairs and you say to him, hey, we got a problem? What do you do?
Well, no, at that point, I didn't find out
What
how
date
much...
was this, by the way?
This was in the first week of December that I'm overhearing this conversation.
When did you stop paying rent?
December the 6th. I gave him $200.
Okay, but that was back rent because you were behind.
No, I wasn't behind. I have proof that up to that point, I was not behind.
How are you proving that?
I have receipts.
Okay, good.
November the 22nd is the last time I paid him $350. Now, let me explain why I paid him the next time $200.
And this purports to be Juan's signature in the bottom. Would he make you sign this? Okay, got it. Go ahead.
Okay, so at that point, I had no idea how much rent he was paying. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, how am I going to find out how much he pays rent? And then a bell goes off. I'm thinking, I can take a look at the rent request envelope that comes underneath the door every month. Now, I just missed that. It was at the beginning of December. I'd seen the envelope several times over the course of several months, and I've given him the envelope. I've never looked at it, figuring it was his business.
So you opened up his mail?
I did.
Okay, and now, you find that out, and then you confront him how? What do you say to him?
I told him that I would not be paying any more rent, that I would stay there for 15 weeks.
To make up the difference that you felt you'd overpaid.
Exactly,
Okay.
and if you wanted to take me to court, then go ahead. It'll come out in court.
Okay, so then he takes you to court, right? Like he files an eviction. So what's going on with that now? It's pending now?
Yeah, it's pending. I gave him this notice.
Okay, and then court is when?
I got 30 days.
What are your plans?
We in court.
Hold on.
My plans right now are to stay in the apartment as long as possible to the point that I get my money back, the $1,500 that he overcharged me.
As long as possible, or to the point where you get your money back?
Where I get my money back.
Okay. Why did you use the phrase, I'm going to ride this as long as I can? What was the exact phrase? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm still living in his apartment. Who knows when I will actually leave? I figure I have at least 7, 8 weeks to leave, even if I do get evicted. I'm going to stay as long as I can in the apartment, get as much money out of him for what he thought he could, for all that he thought he could overcharge me for. What are your plans?
I'm probably going to stay until I can clear myself in court, in housing court, so there's nothing on my record here.
Clear yourself in housing court? If you left, there wouldn't be anything in housing court.
That's true.
So that's silly. All right.
May I go into the mail issue?
Yeah, talk about the mail issue, because the other thing you're suing for is $500 for stolen mail. Tell me about that.
Right. Ever since the court proceedings started, or at least pretty soon after I refused to continue paying rent, I received no mail, none whatsoever. I know for a fact, well, let's just forget.
Are you not providing the man with his mail?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Is rent control fair to landlords? What do you think?
I'd say it's fair to landlords just because, like, they have to deal with the fact that, you know, you have to, like, let people have, you know, a place to live.
Yeah, but you know what? They own a place. Why can't they set the price?
Well, the landlord owns the property, so maybe they should be able to charge whatever they want to charge, and if somebody's not willing to pay it, they can find a place somewhere
Okay,
else.
so we have one that it's fair, one that it's not. Who's the tiebreaker here? How about you? Fair or not?
I think it's fair because it's their place and they should be able to control whatever they need to.
So it's not fair.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, he's my witness.
That what?
I gave him 3 pieces of mail.
3 pieces of mail in 3 months?
Yes.
All the guy's gotten is 3
That's
pieces
it.
of mail in 3
The only
months.
thing he have is the income tax, the W-2 form that I gave him to him, and also the unemployment. That's it.
Did you get those two things?
I've received no letters from the unemployment
My
office.
question is, did you get a W-2 and an unemployment?
I got
what?
one. I worked for 3 different companies last year. I was expecting three W-4s. 2 of the companies I called up because it was getting into February. I had not received the W-4s. I started to get suspicious, and then a week later, the Census Bureau called me. I'd worked for them last year, and they said, we have the returned envelope with your W-4 inside. Would you like to come and collect it? And here it is, with the landlord, Mr. Velasquez's handwriting on the front, returned to sender. You can match this with his handwriting in the holdover petition. You can check his handwriting with the holdover petition here. Look at the way he writes the N's like W's.
If that's the case, at least he's returning to sender as opposed to putting it in a garbage can. Yes, he does. He has a very unusual N. It looks like a W. Did you write return to sender and send his U.S. Department of Commerce, Census Bureau paycheck or W something form back to them?
I
If
write.
not you, then who, baby?
Your Honor, my cousin was living in my house like 2 years ago. They sent me things
Does your
from
cousin
Florida.
write his N's like a W? Because let me tell you,
Probably was me. I don't know.
yeah,
because
probably
I sent
was
too
you
much.
is right.
Yes.
Probably was you is right. All right, so you must be writing return to sender, which again, I'm glad he wasn't just taking it and putting it in the Dipsy dumpster down
But
the road.
he is doing that with
so
my
return to
private-
sender, so he's eventually getting it some other mechanism, but you're not allowing him to get mail at that place. How does that translate? Because obviously you were able to get it. It's trouble because you have to call these places. Now, how does that translate to $500? How do you come up with the $500?
My personal mail, I'm not receiving at all.
You're going to need to change your address. I don't think you should continue to have your address there, apparently, if that's the case. But in any event, I guess this is all coming to a head now anyway, because if you're done, you're done. So when do you plan to get out?
Your Honor, excuse me.
Are you asking for a date?
No, it's just curious if you had plans, because it looks to me, see, I'm not stupid. I know how this is going to work out. You're going to stay there until somebody makes you get out. That's how it's going to work out. And
Not
that's your
necessarily.
problem. That's who
my
you
problem.
rented to.
Not
And-
necessarily. This is,
Okay.
we've been living fairly civilly for the last 3-4 months, even though this has all been going on.
All right. Based on what you have overcharged him, Mr. Velasquez, he has now lived out that overcharging. It is over this Sunday. So when you have your date for your eviction, now you're educated. Now you understand where you stand. All right? So on your lawsuit against him suing for $2,625, you are not entitled to $175 a week, so you cannot get that. What you are entitled to is $1,500 that he has not paid you, because those weeks you're talking about, you're only entitled to charge the $100, okay? Now, he, in his counterclaim against you for $5,000, is entitled to, what a coincidence, the $1,500. It's actually eaten itself up. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, he owes you $1,500 in rent legitimately because you can only charge a certain amount, but you owe him $1,500 in overpayment, so now it's a wash. Effective next week, you should be able to collect what the law allows you to collect, which is $100. Okay? All right?
Yes.
You understand? $103 or whatever. All right. That's my judgment.
A wash. All right, step on in here. What's your feeling on that outcome?
Well, I feel very bad because this man, he was very trying to be slick.
Well, hey, you owed him that. You were overcharging him.
Yes.
You know.
I didn't know, but
He was not aware he was overcharged. He just found out a couple of weeks ago, and that's the same time that Mr. Harrigan found out.
Yeah, I know.
And I know he wants to stay over.
So is he going to stay there? Is he going to stay in, or are you going to get rid of him?
I don't want him to stay.
You're going to take action against him?
Yes.
All right, head around the corner there, and let's see what he has to say. All right, so come on in here. All right, so You proved your point to some degree. What's your feeling on this?
It's a fair decision.
You still going to stay there?
Not long.
Why? Because you used up the money. You really don't want to stay there. It was just you just wanted to use up the money.
I kind of want to just get out of the situation.
So you're out looking for an apartment now.
Yes.
Over to Harvey.
Okay, you know, in rent-controlled cities, there are often rent control boards that will resolve these disputes before having to go to court, so you should check with the rent control board in your city to see if they can do that. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.